I can't face the microphone and do it at the same time. I'll do this.
Hello. We are playing some A Penny for My Thoughts. This is Caleb's game, though, so he's going to introduce it. Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Caleb.
I would like to say that it is my game that I made it, but that's not true.
Well, it's your game, isn't you were the one who brought it.
Actually, I'm the one that made it.
Also not true.
Jordan, if anything, since you're actually watching the stream, like if anything just goes wrong, let me know.
If it was written by, I don't know who it was written by. Anyway, yes, we're gonna play A Penny for My Thoughts, which is a tabletop role-playing game about insomniacs trying to get their memory back.
Insomniacs?
Or not insomniacs.
I can't
It's about
sleep.
insomniacs
I am
trying to get their sleep. You know what? I know what it is. I'm just really tired right now, and that's what my mind went to. No, it's about amnesiacs trying to get their memory back. And so we've played it once before on my channel. It just should be playing on my channel right now because I auto-host Seth's channel.
And I auto-host Jordan.
Yeah.
I actually do it manually because I don't know how to auto-host.
I don't have a Twitch stream.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, so we have all of our stuff that we need. We have our questionnaire. We don't need that. I already ripped it apart. We have our little 5 pieces of paper. We have pennies, and we have pencils and a pen.
We should have 5 pieces of paper?
Yep.
Penny.
5 pieces of paper each.
Penny. Sorry, that was dumb.
It's all right. The next thing I'm going to read, first thing I'm going to read, is the Facts and Reassurances document. This lays out the facts about the world and ground rules for your therapy. A copy can be found in Appendix 1. Appendix 1, Facts and Reassurances. So basically, this game is structured as if we are actually patients in a mental hospital trying to get help and are taking a newfangled drug called Nemesyne, probably how it's pronounced. We had a whole argument about this before, and we asked Emily how it was pronounced and how it would be pronounced, and I think it was Nemesyne is what we decided. But yes, the Facts and Reassurances document says, while Nemesyne helps to break down the barriers between your mind and the minds of your fellow patients, it also weakens the barriers between the compartments of your mind. So basically the idea is all 4 of us are patients in this mental hospital, and we're getting a drug injected. That's the word. Gosh, this is going to be hard because my brain. Injected into our systems, and we're all like connected to each other. So we're all getting the same dosage, basically. And it's connecting our minds together. That's the idea. Weird pseudoscience. Memories, dreams, books, movies, all of these may mix together. To help you distinguish fact from fiction, we have prepared this guide to the world you live in. You may treat the following statements about the world as true. 1. It is the early 21st century. Technology, cars, planes, computers, networks, mobile phones, etc. has not advanced beyond your hazy familiarity with it, nor has humanity been thrown into a new dark age. 2. The world is a mundane place. Its wonders and terrors come from the simple and personal things, like the birth of a child or the death of a loved one. Rest assured that you are not haunted by spirits, nor are you tormented by aliens. You are a normal, everyday person. Number 3. This isn't to say that you might be a remarkable individual. No offense.
Looks a little bright.
I can't do anything about it. I'm going to get some airflow.
Okay.
It's going to get warm in here.
But feats, like leaping across rooftops or reading people's minds, are simply impossible. You are not an action hero, nor are you a great god. Your condition was caused by physiological or psychological trauma surrounding events in your personal life. It was not caused by a shadowy government conspiracy or similar organization. We hope this will aid you in recovering your identity. So.
Now, before we continue.
Yes.
Seth, why didn't you just put the camera on that side? Does it not go?
It made it easier, because if we want to go this way, you're going to go past it, so...
Okay, that's fair.
This blocks the less.
That makes sense.
So this procedure should take approximately 3 hours. Who knows how long it will actually take. So we have the questionnaire, we have the 5 slips, we have all of that stuff ready. We need an opaque container to put the 5 slips of paper in. So something that will, like a hat.
Red plastic cup?
Yeah, plastic cup.
Opaque, not transparent.
If it's any consolation, my mind went to the same place at first. I'm like, oh, no.
That's the way everybody's mind goes, yeah. So this is where we put all of the slips of paper. Cool. So that is all good. We have all our materials. These directions use the metaphor of a journey to help you understand the treatment. Think of the process of self-discovery as a trip to a familiar but distant land, one you haven't visited in a long time. If your treatment is a journey, the 2 documents provided are a guide to your surroundings. The first is a collection of facts and reassurances. We recognize that someone in your stay needs certain guarantees about how the world works. You should refer to this document throughout the treatment so as to not lead yourself or your fellow patients astray. The second document is the questionnaire. Each of its sections provide a sense of direction for a trip into your past. You will fill it out over the course of the session. We've already reviewed both. Next point on this list of things to do. Write memory triggers. So now we're actually going to start. Take a few minutes to clear your thoughts. You may be disturbed by your situation, but it is important to remain calm and relaxed throughout your treatment. We recommend dimming the lights and making yourself comfortable. As you do this, try to open your mind to the thoughts of your fellow patients. The dose of Nemesine you have been given will allow you to connect with their minds. As the drug begins to take effect, you will catch glimpses of memories. While these brief flashes might seem to be from your own mind, and indeed some may be, it is more likely that they are from the minds of the other patients. We call what you are seeing memory triggers. These are the people, places, objects, feelings, or sensations that are strongly associated with a particular incident. You will use them as the starting points for your memories. Some examples are found in the following page. Your mother's perfume, your family's ski lodge, a smooth stone in the shape of a heart, the feeling of being lost in the woods at night, the pain of stepping on something sharp and pointy. Write down a memory trigger on each of your slips of paper, then place the memory triggers into the container that has been provided for you. If this process proves difficult, refer to Writing Effective Memory Triggers, Chapter 3. So we're going to write down 5 different memory triggers.
Do I have a pencil?
I'm actually got a pen in my bag.
Oh, I have a
There's a
pen.
pen right there,
Oh,
yeah.
you got a pen? Okay.
And so we'll just fill these out. Write 5 memory triggers, so like a sensation, a feeling, a place, object, whatever, and then put it in the container. And not this one, because this one has water in it, so I'll take it away from
Just
I was gonna-
put it behind you,
Mhm.
like maybe on the amp or on the bookshelf.
All right.
No, people. No. That's mine.
It's this one, right?
Yep.
Wait. Sorry, let me make sure I wrote down. Didn't write down something stupid.
But that's.
Okay, no, like literally, like saying like the
Do we need to
smell.
fold it?
No, you don't need to. I mean, that's why it's in an opaque container.
I wanted to make sure I didn't like write down the smell of a sound. And I was like, so something
Yeah.
like that.
Get in there.
Said earlier we had a viewer. Had said it'd be 2. We have 1 viewer apparently. Doesn't say who. I don't know how to find that out though. So
They're just watching us writing right now.
I mean they are. Last thing. Oh, it's Carly.
Hi,
Hey,
Carly.
I have him now. Yeah, it's true.
Let's see.
It took me a second to figure out what you said because all I heard was "I know."
I guess it's funny. I said it this way instead of this way, so she could actually hear.
Yeah.
I hope I made good things.
you did.
I can't think of how to word this other than this really weird way to word this. But I think it gets the point across.
Sad, we need a bigger chat window so I can yell at everyone in chat.
You can pull it up on your phone. I mean, you can.
I totally could.
Twitch.tv/Thornside Gaming /chat.
I follow you on Twitch.
No, but if you add /chat,
No, it just open up that.
it'll just open up a chat window.
But I also want to watch myself.
Watch yourself before you.
Botch yourself?
That actually works pretty well. Yeah. Do we have other memory triggers?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. Distribute pennies to patients. Next, each patient will take a penny from the plastic bag. It says bowl here, but saying a penny from my thoughts as you do so.
You actually pulled up the stream.
Turn the volume down.
Would that cause an infinite loop?
So yeah. Let's see. Penny from the bowl.
Penny for my thought.
Yeah. So everyone has one penny.
Yes.
The pennies in front of you represent your ability to recall lost memories. In your current state, it is impossible for you to remember even the simplest series of events. However, as you and your fellow patients help each other, the complexity of what you recall will increase. The reader will now give his or her penny, to me, I will now give his or her penny to another patient, saying, I will help you remember. The reader may choose who receives it by any means he or she wishes. The person chosen will be the first traveler, a role described in the next step. I'm going to give my penny to Jordan. I will help you remember, Jordan.
Remember, walking in the sand.
Okay. So you're the first traveler. The patient with 2 pennies is now the traveler, the name we give to the patient undertaking a journey into memory. The other patients are guides and will help the traveler recall his or her memory. You will change roles throughout the process, and each patient will be the traveler 3 times during the treatment. Okay, that's good there. To start the journey into memory, draw a memory trigger from the container. This memory trigger is connected to what you are about to recall. Read it aloud and show it to the guides. Let them absorb it through the sound of your voice and the shape of the letters on the paper.
I was just making sure the sound was okay.
So I go ahead and read it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A deadly fever.
A deadly fever. Okay, so
Pleasant memory.
remember, yeah, the first memory is going to be recalling a pleasant memory. So whatever happens here, it will end well. Probably no one's going to die from this fever. But yeah, so that...
Or someone will die.
Or someone will die, and
fever.
that will be a happy thing. Yeah, sure.
Messed up already.
Yeah. I kind of assumed this would happen, but... all right, at this point, each guide, so that's the other 3 of us, will ask a yes or no question about the traveler's memory, called a guiding question. The guides now have a much better connection to the traveler's mind than they did when they wrote down the memory triggers. What they see will be accurate, but it also lacks an important detail. Therefore, the traveler must answer each guiding question with the phrase, yes and, followed by the missing detail. The guiding questions establish the context of the memory trigger and the starting point for the memory. They help the traveler begin the journey by clarifying the circumstances surrounding it and the importance of the things that are revealed in it. The reader will ask an additional guiding question of the first traveler. So I'm going to ask 2 leading questions,
Okay.
and each of you are going to ask 1.
Okay, I was gonna say I remember there being you saying more than one.
Yes.
Okay.
So what will happen is I'll ask you a question, then Seth, then Jesse, then me again. And so remember, a leading question has to be answered yes or no, but you have to answer yes. But then you say and you give an important detail that we missed.
And I do that for each of you. For
Yes.
each of you.
Yes.
Yes. And so it has to do with this memory, right? So we would be like,
Yeah.
My question might be, who had the fever?
Yeah.
Or
But it can't be.
that can't be who had the fever. It was the leading question.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did your mom have the fever? Right. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna ask, but okay. So let me think. Was it your mom who had the fever?
Yes. And we didn't know at first.
Didn't know at first. Didn't know that she had a fever.
We didn't know she had a fever at first.
Were you surprised when she came out of it?
Yes. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Ooh, I like the monkey wrench.
So yes, no question.
Yes.
Yeah.
That he will answer yes to, so you can lead him into any question you want.
Oh, okay, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just getting
the game.
started.
Sorry,
You're good.
No, that's fine.
gotta get into my mode here.
Mhm,
I'm also trying to reset my Twitch password because apparently I can log in.
Give it a minute because he'll start saying stuff and you'll have a chance to. You'll have some downtime. So
Okay.
just ask him. Think of a question.
Did you?
He mentioned. He said he's not sure how he felt about it.
Yeah.
Lead him into it.
Yeah. Make me regret what I said.
That is basically the point of this game.
Oh, I think I peeked it. I think I peeked it with my laugh.
And also pounding the table, I think will do quite a bit.
Do that again, Jordan. There.
That wasn't obnoxious at all.
Only Carly's watching that I know of. She's seen weirder.
Did you happen to cause it?
You caused the fever.
This is a pleasant memory.
I know. Don't worry, guys. I'll ask a question. Try to bring it back up.
Okay.
Bring it back up.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure she realizes it, and I think she might try to kill me.
Good luck, Caleb.
This is supposed to be a pleasant memory.
I already know how it can become pleasant.
All right. My last question is: Did she regret? Did she regret attempting it and reconcile with you afterwards?
It being the murdering me?
Yeah.
And did she try to reconcile afterwards? Yes, and I think she realized it was unintentional.
Okay, all right. Oh, interesting. So family drama, good. Okay, so next you have to take the trip, begin the journey.
Okay.
Once you have answered each of the guiding questions, let what you have learned fill your mind. The memory trigger and the guiding questions form the beginning of the story you are about to tell. To return to the travel metaphor, the memory trigger and guiding questions are not the journey, but what happens before you set out. If you were asked, "Did your dog die?" then the memory would begin after the death of your dog. These details and events are what you are reacting to in your memory. Your memory will begin with a brief narrative explaining how the answers to the guiding questions tie together. The connections may be obvious, but reinforcing them is important. This introduction, however, is a prelude to your memory, so keep it brief. Don't get caught up in telling the guides about what they already know and delay your journey unnecessarily. To do this, close your eyes and free yourself from your surroundings. You may find it helpful to lie down, either on the furniture provided or on the floor. Let your mind leave your companions behind and travel to the beginning of the memory you're trying to recall. When you are ready, say, "I remember a time when," and begin recounting the lost memory just as you would tell it to a child or to old friends who have not seen you in years. So, right, what we have just asked is the beginning of this, whatever this journey is going to be. So all this has already happened. Your mom already tried to kill you and already reconciled with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so, if you, I feel like, so give us a short prelude or description of how the questions that we asked you tie together. Like, make sure we all know what was the beginning of this, right? And then start telling the story. And then, when you reach a point, right, in which you are trying to remember something that you did, right? So it says, "You are now ready for the heart of the treatment process, the actual recollection of one of your memories. This will proceed in an iterative fashion, with your description of what you remember alternating with stops to help from the guides. While telling the story, you will be able to describe many of the details of your memory, such as what other people did or said, how you felt, or what you thought or wanted. The process of recounting these details and incidents is straightforward. Simply tell your fellow patients what you see as you travel through your memory. There is a barrier, however, between your present self and your pre-trauma self that prevents you from recalling your own actions. Your amnesia is a result of something you did or said, and your mind has constructed this blockage as a self-defense mechanism. As you tell the story, you will be unable to see anything about your own actions or words. You'll be able to sense in your memory where these moments occur, as you'll encounter a blank spot and a sense of resistance. The only way you can regain your memory is to confront these choices and their consequences. This is where your fellow patients as the guides will help you. When you reach these key points in your memory, you will use your pennies to ask for guidance. Each piece of guidance will cost you a penny. After receiving this help from your guides, you will continue telling the story, stopping again when you reach another decision point. When you run out of pennies, your memory will begin and end. So basically, at any point you just begin to describe important actions you took, the guide should ask you, are you sure? And then we are the ones who get to decide what you did in that moment. You can describe anything else. Basically what you do is you hold out one of your pennies and then say, what did I do or say then? And then we...
So it's like really important moments in the story. You don't get to decide what happened, essentially.
You don't get to decide what you did. Yeah.
You can ask 2 people, though, and you give one person your penny.
Okay, so first I've got to sum up how the
So
three things...
sum up how the
four things.
The 4 questions work together and then begin telling the story.
Okay, so there was a time when I was mad at my mom, so I went outside and found the nastiest mushrooms just growing in the wild that I could, and I mixed them into the stew that night, and I pretended that I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to eat, and so Mom sent me home, or sent me into my room without dinner. I didn't realize those mushrooms were poisonous. And she ended up in the hospital, and she didn't know those mushrooms were in there. So she, in a sort of guilt, I confessed to her while she was in the hospital what I did, and then she made it out of it. And I thought she was gonna be so mad at me. I thought she was going to literally kill me. And then she eventually came to me and like asked me about it. She addressed me, and she asked what I was doing, what I was thinking. I said I had no idea. I didn't know they were like actually poisonous. I just thought I'd make her be like, oh, this is disgusting. This is horrible, and I'd just have a laugh and get back at her for making me mad.
But you guys made up.
What we made up.
What happened next?
She went out to teach me the difference between poisonous plants and what's good to eat and what's not. So, first thing she showed me was those mushrooms and how they were a bad decision to eat. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
I feel like we say that so much on stream.
We really
Yeah, we do. For reasons.
Yeah. We were having it was a great bonding moment. It was Mom was teaching me about mushrooms, and then we went into her garden, and she was showing me some of the things that were actually good to pick and to plant, and showing me which ones were just for looks and to look pretty, and which leaves and stuff were actually dangerous. And it was partially my punishment because it was really boring. I tried to get out of it at one point.
Are you sure?
I don't know. And this is the point I get to choose 2 people, and then
No, so you choose one person
I
first.
choose one person first.
So basically, what you do is you ask someone, what did
Yeah.
I do then? What did I
Okay.
do or say then?
Okay.
And then if you don't like the answer that was provided to you, you can say, or was it, and then ask a second person, but only
Okay.
one person. The person you choose to the decision point, yes, who you give the penny to. And you
Okay.
keep going, and you do this the same
Okay,
thing.
so are you sure you tried to get out of it? Is what it is.
Well, because
Yeah.
you started describing your own actions,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
said, are you sure? And now, if you just say, what did I? You would ask one
Yeah.
of us 3 and say, what did I say then? What did I
Yeah.
do then?
All right. So Seth, what did I do then?
Well, I think maybe when she told you which mushrooms were good, you tried to pop one in your mouth. You thought, oh, it's good. I'll try it.
Yeah, That is what I did.
Do I get the penny now?
You do get a penny. A penny for my thoughts. Thank you. That's right.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, and then I realized where my sense of pranking comes from. Because it was she was right that it's okay to eat. It did not taste good.
Yeah.
And she was very tickled by that.
Don't eat mushrooms.
Don't eat mushrooms.
Don't eat random mushrooms.
Yeah.
Don't eat mushrooms, period. They're just...
But mushrooms are delicious. I got mushrooms for the tacos.
Mushrooms on tacos?
Yeah, that one I hadn't heard of before.
Wait, like for tacos or for fajitas?
Who cares? Sauteed mushrooms and onions on a burrito? Heck yes.
Okay, like on a breakfast burrito. Normally I wouldn't put mushrooms on a taco.
Yeah.
I would. I'm gonna.
Mushrooms on a taco. Hey, that's another band.
You know
I guess I
what?
could
Wanna
always
start a
put
band?
it in the.
Like that?
Well, no, I can't put it in the quiche if you guys don't like mushrooms. Whatever. Continue your freaking memory.
The memory where I get fed a disgusting mushroom. Yeah, the mushroom mom gave me it gave me a case of the runs, and I was not happy with mom for a while. So, but after a while, I kind of, I'm like, okay, this is fair. After I almost literally killed her. Then after a extensive period of time inside, and several glasses of water, I rejoined my mother outside.
Are you sure?
I don't know. What did I do, Jesse?
So you said that after several glasses of water, you rejoined your mother outside. You're asking me what you did.
What did I?
Speak up.
Yes. Sorry. I think you got sick of it and waited back inside for her to find you.
Okay. Caleb, do you have any other thoughts of what I did instead? In that?
Yeah. I mean, I think you were right. You went outside and joined your mother, and you basically made it your life's mission from that point onward to be like the best mushroom expert that has ever been. This is the beginning of your life's passion.
And that's why this is a pleasant memory.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that one.
Your life's passion was mushrooms.
And your
And
passion
that's how
your passion for mushrooms started with you almost killing your
Almost killing his mother. He's like, I will
He
never
sounds like
do
a
that
D&D
again.
character.
Yeah. I must train to be the best with mushrooms, so I will never accidentally hurt
This
someone.
is like
again.
this is like Peter Parker of mushrooms here.
Yes.
It's the story of Fun Guy.
There's a character in Chrono Cross named Fungi.
I remember, yeah. Yeah, Crowley had a cry face. So cry laugh.
Like if you cry every time.
So yeah, so you finished by saying, and that is what I remember.
And that is what I remember.
All right, so then fill out the next section of your questionnaire where it says, when I think of blank, so you write in the memory trigger.
When I think of a deadly fever,
You think about this, so write down the core event of your memory.
what was about it? I realized my life's purpose as expert of all things mushroom.
This is already going incredibly well.
Cool. So the journey is now this journey is now complete. Take a deep breath and take 1 penny from the plastic bag or the table, I guess, at this point. Again, repeating a penny for my thoughts.
Penny for my
It is
thoughts.
now another patient's turn to be the traveler. So let's go back to let's see. How do you choose another traveler?
Well, I have 2 pennies, and I'm the only one with 2 pennies.
Yeah, I believe that's the way. Yeah, the patient with 2 pennies is now the traveler. In order to be the traveler, you must have enough pennies to complete the next section of your questionnaire. 2 for the first section, 3 for the second, and 4 for the third. If more than one person has enough pennies to be the next traveler, whoever among you has the most blank sections on his or her questionnaire will go next. If there's more than one person tied for the most blank sections, whoever among them has the most pennies will go next. All right. So Seth. And you just destroy the entire
Yeet! Clothes hanging out to dry.
clothes hanging out to dry. Okay.
So wait, is someone supposed to give me a penny, or did I get someone? Or was that just for the first
I
round?
think that was just for the first round.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a very complicated drug process.
It is.
So does Jordan start then, since he was the last one?
Yes. So Jordan, you'll begin. We'll go around, and then you'll ask the last question.
Pleasant memory. Clothes hanging out to dry.
So the neighbor girl got your attention whenever you were outside doing laundry?
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Here we go. I somehow knew that was where they were going to take this.
Yeah, you know what? It probably wasn't the best idea to be hanging my underwear outside, but when your dryer's broken, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So you've been watching her for a while, hadn't you?
Yeah, and what I wasn't expecting is she had been watching me too.
Okay. How can I save this?
I think this is going up perfectly.
Actually, this is good. This is
Get some J Paranotti in the chat, boys.
Yeah. What?
J Paranotti.
I don't. Oh. No.
I need to make sure this doesn't go in
This doesn't have to go in
direction.
unpleasant
I know,
direction.
I know.
I was just like, maybe there's a conversation that starts.
I think my question is. Why Keel? Why would you even think of that, Keel? Never mind. I'm moving past that one. I will never speak of it.
And this is
Seth
why
already
this
made it about
game.
underwear, so.
I know. That's where my mind went. Let's see. Did you invite her over for lunch the next day?
Yeah, it was kind of a way of apologizing for
Having to look at
having to look at my underwear, and it was embarrassing for me. And I wanted to just try and salvage the burning trash fire that seemed to be that situation.
So that's the story of how you met your wife?
Yeah, never would have expected it, but
This is literally the exact same thing as we did with Seth's character last time.
as long as
has a dumb situation that leads to him getting married.
as long as I don't have boiling hot tea poured in my eyes at the end of the evening, I'll be fine.
Yep. Oh, no, don't you wait. We're getting to the unpleasant memories.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, so I just start off with the time the memories together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was that one summer day. It was hot out, and lo and behold, my dryer decided to break that day. And you know what? I had put off laundry for a few weeks. It'd been a while.
This sounds like your real life.
Shut up, Jesse. Trolling me in the chat, trolling me in IRL. So yeah,
He's an
What?
8-year-old troll sitting on your couch.
was sitting on the chair, but yeah.
Sitting on your chair.
So yeah, didn't really have many options. I I was trying to. I tried hanging a few things on just doors and hangers inside, but after a while, you run out of things. And so I got to the last little bit of it, and there were my underwear on the bottom of it, and I was like, oh, I gotta do something. I'm literally wearing my last pair. So I took all the stuff, and I just started hanging it over, bushes, over chairs outside, and I look over, and fences can be shorter than you expect at times. And I look over, and there's my neighbor in the backyard, just kind of blushing. As I have a pair of underwear in my hands, I look over, I look back at them and go, oh no. And this is a neighbor I, kind of had liked for a while. You don't get out a lot when you're working. You see people, you have crushes, and you don't think they're gonna go anywhere because you're busy, and then they watch you hanging your underwear over the petunias. So the next day I went over to her house, kind of said hi, invited her over, and tried to just talk, and we ended up talking. She thought it was funny, and after that we started chatting, and we got to know each other, and it was nice. And I remember a time that a few years after we got married, lo and behold, the dryer breaks again.
Oh boy.
And I was like, what's her name be? Her name should be Karen. They're always named Karen. If this is gonna go unpleasant, she might as well be named Karen.
Fair.
So like, Karen, you're not gonna guess what happened. She's like, what? I was like, the dryer broke. She just looked over me, gave me a little smirk, and said, just stay away from the rose bush. So I grabbed the laundry.
Are you sure?
I was waiting for that. I'm not so sure actually what happened. Jordan, do you remember what I did? I have a shiny pink. Actually, it's very dull and dirty.
Like the rest of your life is gonna be in this game.
It's sad because it's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe not dull. Maybe not dull.
Oh, it's never dull in this game.
Yeah. Never a dull moment.
So what were you saying?
So, I think it doesn't have to be something completely different then, or just something maybe a little different then. Okay.
Yeah, can be whatever
So,
you want.
I think what you did then, Seth, was, or do we use Seth? Or,
Seth,
yeah,
sure,
okay.
whatever.
Yeah, I think what you did.
Pixar's number 3. Because none of us know our names, so.
Yeah. Appendix number 3.
We've already been saying each other's names.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I think what you did was you took some of her laundry, some of her unmentionables, and you wanted them to smell, nice and rosy. So you did not heed your wife's advice, but you did, in fact, hang them specifically on the rose bush.
Okay, I really like that. But I'm curious as to what Caleb think I did.
Oh, I am too.
I want options, because I love that, but...
Yeah, so I think you listened to your wife, and you didn't
Good then.
hang up the clothes on the rose bush or anything like that. And you went to the laundromat instead. Unfortunately, you probably shouldn't have.
Oh, both of those are good! But there has to be a pleasant memory. And I can think of where I'm going with that. So I think I'll go with what Jordan said. So, I think I think what I did is I turned to her. I was like, okay, I'll keep my underwear off the rose bush. She said, good.
Not realizing the trap you just fell into.
Exactly. And when I realized she didn't realize what I said, I had a little fun. Brought them out, just hung them everywhere. I got our 3-year-old to help out, was like, go hang this with mommy somewhere in the backyard. And he thought it was great. And a couple hours later, she walked outside, and she just let out the loudest shriek I've ever heard her make. And when she walked inside, I told her, I was like, I said I wouldn't hang my underwear on there, and she just gave me a glare and threw them at my face.
Happy memory.
She said, "Go pick those up," and walked out. And Jesse, do you remember what I did next?
Can we provoke it? Say okay.
Well, I was going
Yeah.
that direction
Okay.
anyway, so I was like,
Well, I thought I wasn't sure
Either
if we
way,
can
yeah,
throw
he
it
can
out and be
either-
like,
yeah.
provoke. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we can kind of interrupt, or he can ask us directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to a decision point,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Yeah. So she came in, threw it at you, said, "Go pick it up." I think you decided to keep the prank going for just a little while longer.
I would. Any specific way?
Ooh.
I mean, you can force me a direction if you
No,
want to.
I'll let you.
Caleb, I'll give you a second try. Just kind of curious. I do like that, but I
Sorry, what was
I wanna-
yours?
I said I think you decided to let the prank go for just a little longer.
Okay, all right.
he didn't give any
Without
specifics.
any details. Okay.
Because I feel like Seth could come up with something good.
Right.
Could, but
So I think you went to go listen to your wife and put the unmentionables back, but unfortunately someone else had gotten to them first.
yeah. In hindsight, I should have put the dog away before doing this, because I went outside. I was like, okay, fine. I had my laugh. You know, there's no reason to bring it any farther than I go outside and yeah, I should have hung them up a little higher. We had a little bulldog that got one of those, and he got a few of those that I had strewed along the bush. I'm not a bulldog. Bulldogs aren't tall enough.
Golden retriever.
Golden retriever.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's a good one.
I found our golden retriever had realized that they were just low enough for him to get, and he just had a heyday. And so yeah, I got them out of his hands, but there was like at least half of them that were torn up. They were a lost cause. So, but I got what I could. Walked in, gave my wife a hug. And was like, "Hey, Cam, wanna go shopping?" She wasn't happy, but in the end, we had a laugh.
I figure. Yeah. Cool.
Beautiful.
All
My
right.
dog ate my underwear, guys.
Cool. So you've given your pennies out. I am the one with the 2 pennies now.
Jordan has two.
So-
pennies, too.
I
Yes,
already
but yeah,
did the two.
But he's already done
He's done. Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So when I think of clothes hanging
I'll have to
to
have 3
dry,
pennies to do my next one.
Cool. So
A needle pulling thread.
So it's me next. 'cause-
no. So it's me
Wait,
next.
no,
'Cause
it's
I have
you're,
2.
You're the person giving the penny is the one. That's what.
Yes. So Seth is gonna ask me 2 questions after I pull the memory trigger, and the rest of you, and each of you, ask me 1. So.
Does Seth get an extra penny?
Oh yes, you grab 1, I believe, right? That's
Yeah.
what happens. Let me double check.
or else you're gonna run out.
Yeah. Yep. 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 So, gonna take the memory trigger. Math that was too difficult for me. Okay.
Give me a second. Let me write down my memory trigger first. Rosebush, and it got eaten
It got eated by a pupper.
by
eaten.
the dog.
Eat it to death.
The pupper eated it to death.
So math that was too difficult for me. You've never really liked math, have you? Well, no, you You've always struggled with math, haven't you?
Yes. And for some reason, no, okay, I can't really say but.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Yes, and.
Yeah, you have to yes
and it.
and.
I think I technically butted a last one, but
It's okay. Let's see. Yes and.
I could have worded it in a yes and way.
Yeah. Yes, and because I'm too stupid for math and too stupid to make good life decisions, I became an engineer.
That doesn't make any sense. Oh wait, train engineer.
Sure.
That could work. You have no idea how much math I have to do. Actually, how much math do I have to do? Whatever. Jordan.
Seth doesn't even know.
No, I don't like that. Let me redo that. That does. You're right. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You have to.
It was funny, but it doesn't make any sense. So yes, I've always had trouble with math, and that's why I decided to be a stay-at-home dad.
Until Karen took the kids.
Is it on me or on Jordan?
I'll
Sure,
go
yeah,
next.
I think you're going clockwise, yeah.
Okay.
OJ.
That sounds good.
It is.
Is that why you had a difficult time with helping your children with math?
Dang it! I wanted to say that, Jordan.
Yes, and I always felt really bad about it, to the point where I took private math lessons to try to help my 6th grader.
Are you smarter than a 6th grader?
No, the answer was no.
I probably peeked the mic, but I don't care.
That doesn't look like it.
No.
That's not, I mean, while I was laughing.
Right, but it usually has the the next
Oh, yeah.
highest point.
I'll take this a good direction since this is supposed to be happy.
Mhm.
You weren't expecting him to make top of his class, were you?
Oh, you weren't, so...
I had to answer yes.
Yeah, he has to answer yes.
Were you surprised when you?
Were you surprised when he made top of his class then?
Yes, and I knew that it wasn't because of me that he got those grades.
I would just like to point out...
But I didn't care very much because it's not about me; it's about him.
I would just like to point out both of yours have been yours with the wife. Both of yours have been yours with the kid.
Oh yeah. Whoops. And both
Dang.
of yours have been with drugs.
Yeah!
Yep. that's
Consistent! You're the wild card.
We'll find
true. He has
out.
to involve the cops somehow. That was Emily. Or pranking.
Or siblings.
Or sibling. Yeah, that's
Dead
it.
siblings.
If you have a sibling, then you'd be Emily Stanton.
As long as the next one isn't about right after I got it. Well, it's gonna end up with a divorce.
Maybe not. She might.
Anyway,
die instead.
Karen took the kids to the grave.
Okay,
So-
So my last answer was like yes, I was surprised, and I knew that it wasn't me who helped him, but I didn't care because it wasn't about me; it was about him.
but you couldn't help but feel a. Oh no, I knew it wasn't about you, but I can't really force.
Man, this drug does some crazy stuff.
Try not to but something you just said.
I have established my motivations early on, so that you canan't make me into some sort of monster who
Who's jealous of his child?
exploits his children to make money.
Oh, yeah!
That's what you guys did to me last time.
You know what? Maybe I'll turn in a different direction. But I don't know. You could still make a happy memory out of this, but I can't think of anywhere else to go. Were you a little disappointed you didn't do anything with math?
Ooh.
Yes. And that's why
That's why I
because I don't want to because this is supposed to be a pleasant memory.
You can still bring it good directions.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what the good direction I could take it in.
I'm gonna write something down and show it to Seth and see.
So yes, I was disappointed that he didn't go into any sort of field with math, and that led me to a field in math myself. In a rather roundabout way, I realized that I can't vicariously live through my children, so I need to do my own thing.
I like it. I like it.
Did I see this?
Yeah. I'll show it to you here in a sec.
Memes.
Not memes.
No.
It's what his answer would have been. Read it out loud.
Go ahead and read it out loud.
Yes, and that's why I'm glad I saved a lot of money by not paying for his college. That would have been a good answer too, yeah.
I like yours better, but
So yeah, the brief explanation of all that. I was really never good at math, at least in high school and before that. And so yeah, I really always struggled with it, but I tried really hard to help my kid because my kid had a really hard time himself with math, and I saw myself in my 6th grade boy. And so I wanted to change my legacy a little bit because I never graduated college, and I really wanted to make something of myself. Make something of him. But that's a Freudian slip. But yeah, through the process of him getting good at math and then choosing not to do anything with it, I realized that I didn't need to vicariously live through my child. I could vicariously live through myself. I could just do the thing. And so when he graduated from high school, I went back to school myself.
Are you
do
sure?
the thing. 1 + 2
No, that's
is 3.
that. He's establishing everything we just did in the
Okay.
So
question.
that I connecting all of them together. I went back to school myself.
Now it's two.
Which brings me to the first week of my adult college career.
Math intensive.
My wife had died years ago.
Just getting that out of the way from the
Yeah.
start.
My wife had died years ago, and so
We're supposed to kill your wife, Caleb.
These are the ways we can't kill your wife.
my wife had died years ago, and so it was just me in the house, and I was getting driven crazy, and so ended up just in the dorm, right?
An old withered man.
But yeah, I was what 40 something at that point, 45 maybe. And so it was really weird. It was really awkward trying to fit in with all of these young adults, because this wasn't a college that was very well known for its adult attendance. It was it's older attendance, like some colleges. It was a nice college, and I'm glad I got to go there. But I always felt out of place, except for one person. The person that would eventually become my second wife. Met her in a math class of all places, and I saw her, and she was the most beautiful woman I ever met. She was 37 at the time, I believe, the only other older adult student, and I really wanted to talk to her, but I don't really remember how it went exactly at our first meeting. What did I do, Jordan?
So you established that you were already struggling with the class?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not struggling with the class now.
Or did-
Struggling with fitting into college.
Okay, fitting into the college. I think after a test, you approached her and you saw her grade, and you happened to have scored well on this test. And she looked like she could have done better. So you jokingly say, you jokingly said, "Oh, maybe I can give you a little bit of tutoring, a little bit of help." And
Kind of a flirty way.
yeah, and then it what was I gonna say? but you were also kind of bluffing because you only barely made it out by the skin of your teeth by studying all night long.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. That might be the right answer. Jesse, do you have another answer? What did I do?
See, I had the same thing in mind.
No, that is what you did, kid.
I mean, you can totally say that. You can just say exactly what he said, and then change maybe minor
I
details.
want to think of something different.
Yeah. That's a way that you can like force me to choose it.
Mine was. I won't say what mine was gonna be.
I mean, because when you're in a math class, like offer to study with them is like the most cliche thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
I think when class got out, you stood by the door, almost like an awkward teenager, just kind of waiting for her to walk past you. And she noticed.
Senpai noticed me!
Oh, I like both of those a lot, but I think I'm gonna go with Jordan's because it fits the whole math theme we've been going a little bit better. So yeah, Jordan, here's a penny.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I asked, kind of flirtingly if she needed any help, and I'd be willing to tutor her. She remarkably said yes, somehow, for some reason, even though if I had a video camera on my face at that point, I probably looked like the dumbest person ever. Very awkward. But yeah, our first tutoring session went really well, and all the years that I had kind of focused on trying to help my kid, trying to better myself, kind of came in handy. And I mean, the next test that she took, she passed real well with flying colors. We both did.
Did you?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, so I mean, the next test came around.
But did you? You said you passed as well.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm leading up to it again. The next test came around, and she passed with flying colors, but I'm not entirely sure how well I focused on that test, because, I mean, we'd studied, but we also didn't exactly study all the time. So, yeah. What did I do? How did I handle that?
You're asking...
Seth.
Okay, just make sure. I think you completely and totally flopped. You spent a little too much time chatting with her, and the entire time during the test, you were keeping your eye on her. Just kind of doing, like, looking, seeing how she's doing. And when you got it back, you got maybe a 50% on it.
Oh gosh. That's one possible option. Jordan, do you have another idea?
No, I'm kidding.
You failed the test. Sorry.
I think what happened was you were caught in the true nature of how you passed the last test.
Oh.
By copying off of someone else's. And she picked up on it.
We established in the last one,
happy
though,
memory.
that... We already established in the last one, though, that he had stayed up the entire night studying.
That is true. That is the reason. So I don't
You in the last one you gave him, you said he stayed up the
no,
entire night.
that's
The same
right.
reason
Yeah,
you
that
had it.
doesn't work.
If that was an unpleasant memory, that would be what would happen right now.
I don't know what I would do other than what Seth already. Let me think. Yes, you did pass it with flying colors, and the professor asked you to join the honors math class.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's what happened, Jordan. I passed with flying colors and joined the honors math class. Turns out, so did she. She got the same offer. We both had really good grades, and we consistently had really good grades. And so, soon enough, we were both in the higher math class. And I don't know what it was, but it was something about us being together. I think more than anything that made math possible for me. It's like she unlocked a new world that I didn't know existed.
A whole new world.
Yeah.
It's a shame it wasn't chemistry because it seems like you had plenty of that.
Oh! Dang it! Where is my soundboard when I need
Right?
it?
Yeah. So I think that's.
Do I get the other penny then, or
Yeah,
Yes.
you got both pennies.
can I skip to recall how I came to be here? Is that how that works?
No,
So I get to skip
no,
it?
you have to do.
I
the first
know.
one.
I really wanted to though, because if I got to skip the unpleasant memory, maybe I could get this
So-
out of this alive. Sorry.
And that is what I remember. So, let's see.
I think technically Jordan goes next. I mean,
I think so. Let me double check this.
yes. Actually, I really like the one you did. Though.
Choose the next traveler based on the number of pennies people have in order to be the traveler. Enough pennies to complete the next section of your questionnaire, and that is you are the only person to have enough pennies.
Jesse hasn't even beat the first.
Let's see.
I haven't even beat level 1. Stuck at the tutorial.
You get one
Infinite
penny.
cycle. I do get 1 penny. Yes.
A penny for your thoughts.
So, I should write that down. Shouldn't I? When I think of
Math, that's too hard for me.
math, that was too difficult for me.
Hey, birds.
Cut it out.
You know, we have a solution to that in Texas.
Called shotgun.
Oh, I forget.
Called gardens.
That was the other route.
Wait, what?
They're called gardens. To make the birds happy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a little. Shut up.
Flap, flap, flap.
That was crazy good.
Jesse beatboxes.
That's the squirrel sound I wanted
Oh,
to use
technically,
for Starents, but
so we-
never got to.
We forgot to answer this question. The first, it's what was pleasant about it.
Oh, I wrote for mine.
did
There's
you
a
write
fun
it down?
moment with my wife.
I realized my life's purpose as an expert of all things mushroom.
I just making sure. Because it's when I think of blank, I remember, and you write in that, and then
Yeah.
what was pleasant about it is a different thing. So, okay, so I remember meeting
Wifey.
my wife.
Your
and,
second wife.
Yeah, becoming good at math. What was pleasant about
Sir,
it?
just kill your first wife so we can just take the second one away from you.
So, what was pleasant about it? Wife.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, that and you pass with flying colors.
That's true.
And you got honor stitches.
Cool. So, Jordan, you get to complete the next section.
Yay.
Now we get to the fun part.
I'm terrified. Give me that one. What is it? Oh, crap.
What'd you get?
Starting a band.
No! Oh no! It's happening again. It's all just happening again.
A
This
band
is
of
what happened to my
a band of
character.
mushroom experts.
Hey, yeah, it could.
Because you have the drugs.
So I
and the-
was just the one who had the thing, right? So my first question to you is, so you started a band of mushroom, what's the word?
Enthusiast.
Johnny Mushroom and the Kingdoms.
No, you started a band of mushroom enthusiasts, yeah.
I know exactly what this
And I don't mean like music band, like
Okay, so just
like a
group.
band of people.
yeah. Yes, and you should have met Charlie. He was just more gung ho than the rest of them. I mean, he was a real good kid. Like he was.
So wait, you're like a Boy Scout leader.
Yes, and
The Texas Mushroom Club.
Texas Mushroom Cloud.
Oh, it's on
Yeah,
me.
go ahead and ask.
So were you surprised then when Charlie ended up being the one that caused its downfall?
Oh no.
Yes. You would have never, you never would have thought looking at him like he doesn't look it, but he.
The Death of the Mushroom Club.
That's a great band.
Oh,
You want to start a band called Death of the Mushroom Club?
I do. Death of the Mushroom Club. And then instead of drumsticks, we just get mushrooms.
Your drums are also mushrooms.
Yes.
Have you ever seen
That
the
would be a trippy video.
Have you ever seen the Vegetable Orchestra?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So did you answer this question? It's like you never.
No. So it was.
So you didn't. Were you surprised that Charlie was the one that made it all fall apart?
Yeah. Yes, and you never would have known it just looking at him, but he had quite the devious mind. I think he's actually the one that kind of set the whole thing up for us to come together, but then the cops showed up.
Oh wow.
Okay, I was looking at something, but were you surprised to learn that the fins of mushrooms could hold that much cocaine?
Yes, I was.
Gotta bring it to drugs.
Yep.
It's an unpleasant memory.
Yeah.
I can't make this happy.
Yep.
I could have gone the boring route of like, oh, they were special mushrooms. Like, that's easy.
No, I know the cocaine. Yes, I was surprised, and what I really don't understand is how he was able to cut them open, and then stuff the cocaine inside, and then seal them back up as if there was nothing wrong with them.
Charlie.
Charlie was. How do you stuff that much? I've had stuffed mushrooms.
takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah, like I've had stuffed mushrooms that were stuffed less than these things.
Oh boy.
It's a very creative way to transport cocaine.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Um.
Honestly, we should just start a group of channels that's called
Make
Don't Do
a
Drugs.
command exclamation point drugs.
How do you do that? I want to do that.
He's gonna Moobot.
Okay.
the whole
I'll
thing.
do it. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Not now. But like,
I should do that
It's
actually
like-
on my channel. Yeah.
exclamation point drugs, just a gift comes up. Don't do drugs.
So drugs. like a
Don't do drugs, Swift Rage.
have a whole like link to the like Bureau of like drugs or whatever it is. I
The
don't know.
Bureau of Drugs.
Whatever the Bureau is, that's like don't do
That's
drugs.
a
like-
different kind of band of mushrooms.
Wait, it's your turn.
Yeah. So last question here. Did your mom get a fever again?
Oh.
Fever again.
No, I'm confused by
So
this.
I'll rephrase the question because I want to lead you
Yeah,
to this
yeah.
specific point. Did your mom get a fever again, but this time by eating one of the mushrooms that she shouldn't have?
Oh no! Oh, that's right, because that's poisonous to ingest. I know that because of Cops. My dad liked watching that show.
Yes, and not even Mom could have known what was hiding in there. That's how we all found out. That's how we turned Charlie in, and that was when I had to bury my mom.
I figured.
Oh, you just say it right out of the gate, yeah.
Happy stories.
Except you have snacks.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
What?
You have snackos.
Snackos. George, start talking. Oh, look for snackos. I can't give out potatoes because Emily will get mad.
It's fine.
I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier, but just to be clear, this is not Emily Cookers.
No.
Okay, because she's coming to my house on Friday, so I was really confused. Like, wait, Emily's coming. But she's what?
Now you know how it feels, Jesse, when people say names of people, you don't specify who it is.
I have a habit of doing that. Just be like, so Matt told me the other day. So that's like, who the heck is Matt?
Anyway,
Yeah.
should have brought crackers.
How do I even pick that up?
Are we getting dinner later?
I don't know. We haven't decided that yet.
If the four of us want to get dinner, then I mean I'm hungry because I'm always hungry. So.
Let Jordan finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so-
my good sir.
You're-
Please continue remembering.
Yes. Yeah, I remember shortly after her funeral, the rest of the band, who were just as shocked as me, were there at the funeral as well, comforting me. We'd all become pretty good friends over the couple months
Sorry, it
of the
smells so good.
over the couple months
You
of.
mean it smells so good?
It does smell so good.
It smells so good.
Sorry, Jordan.
That's fine. It gives me time to think.
So what happened at your mom's funeral? Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie had the audacity to show up after
Wow. That jerk.
being
Freaking Charlie.
Did
let.
you get out of jail then? Can we, sorry, is that not the kind of question? Are we allowed to point out what looks like inconsistencies, or
Well,
unless that's not an
It's
inconsistency?
I'm getting
Okay.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that you're telling the best story you can.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Charlie had the audacity to show up to pay his respects after having dodged the cops for the past couple weeks. The moment I saw him, I can't remember what I did.
Jesse,
It's okay. I don't
You
remember
need-
what I did anyway.
you need pennies. Okay. What do you think of cheese, Caleb?
I don't think I don't really like Gouda cheese.
You like Gouda?
No, it's a bit
It
too
is so
strong for me.
Whole thing? Thank you.
So Charlie showed up.
And what did you do when you saw Charlie?
I don't remember.
I think you tried to attack him.
Yeah, that was
Jesse's just ready for it. He's
that was like that's the easy route.
I had two thoughts. That was one of them. No, I don't need to go anywhere else with that.
Yeah.
That seems like the obvious
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
I
I'm-
would.
I attacked him.
Okay.
Huh?
Penny.
Okay, yes. Have a penny, my friend. Do I have to do it until? Do I spend
So all
three
of your pennies are gone.
or all four?
I believe so. I'll double check, but I believe that's the way it is.
Makes sense, and make sure you don't go too often.
Because I already have.
That's
most of
so good.
Just keep going.
them. So good.
Are the little mold
It is good.
crumbles?
I don't know, but they're crunchy. What do you think of it?
It's good.
Let's go cheese.
Keep going. Jared.
Yeah. So, the moment I saw him, I was furious. I ran up to him and he started to say something, but I would have none of it. I ran up to him and I punched him straight in the throat.
Throat punch.
Throat punching.
That's an inside joke.
I mean-
This is a really sounds weird, but that's an inside joke at my Bible study.
What?
Throat punches are an inside joke at my Bible study.
Okay. Yeah, fair. I can see how that would happen.
He fell on the ground coughing, and I just kept attacking. I kept hitting and kept hitting. Eventually, he was just kind of laying there, a busted up heap. Thankfully, one of the others called the cops the moment they did the smart thing. They'd called the cops as soon as he showed up. But when the cops came, they showed up to him being in a heaping mess on the ground, and me standing over him. What did I try to tell the cops? Is that a good decision point?
Yeah, what did I say?
Yeah. What did I say to the cops? What do you think I said, Seth?
You didn't say anything. You ran.
I
plead the fifth.
I like that. Caleb, what do you think I said?
I think you said,
Or did, I suppose.
yeah. I think you said, I think that hand and a half sword got what was coming to him. I say hand and a half sword because that's another name for bastard sword.
Clever.
But yeah, basically, like he got what was coming to him, and you do what you want to me, but he got what he deserved. You stood up and said that. You're done.
No, I think I ran actually. It was
And he does go till.
That's the coward's way out. Yeah, he goes until all the pennies are out.
Yeah, the cop showed up and he was standing and he was just laying there in a heaving mess and
Pool of his blood.
and yeah, basically in a pool of his own like fluids. It was just a mess.
So you're saying he was moist?
Oh.
Sorry, continue.
And I ran, and I don't know why I ran. Maybe it was because I was afraid of getting arrested, and I was grieving with my mom, and I was so angry, and I didn't know what to think at the time, and I just kept running, and eventually I don't remember. Did I evade the cops, or did I eventually just did the cops eventually?
That's not a decision you would make, though. That's,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can keep
You
going.
make
Okay,
any
okay,
decision,
yeah.
it's not yours.
Okay.
Like it's not like you decided to get caught. You just
Yeah.
ran.
Yeah. Yeah, I ran and I just kept running, and I managed to get away from the whole thing. I fled to a different town and changed my name. And I did the only thing I could have thought to do.
Did you?
I joined a greenhouse, so I don't know. What did I do? What did I do, Seth?
Oh, I don't actually know. I was gonna say you open up an herbalist shop. That doesn't make sense in this day and age. Actually,
I don't know.
actually, no. You open up a new age herbalist shop. You knew enough about plants that you just opened up a shop.
That was the only thing I knew how to do.
I must have missed something. What happened after you got arrested?
I fled. I skipped town. Went to a completely different town and changed my name. Like just reinvented my identity.
I say he opened an herbalist shop.
Yeah. Jesse, do you know if that's right? What? If that wasn't what I did, what did I do?
Why is it the first thing that popped in my head was independent mushroom contractor?
Independent mushroom contractor. Now, does that mean you are an independent mushroom that contracts?
I'm an
or-
IMC, independent mushroom contractor. You contract out
IMC, INC. Imp Inc.
You may borrow my mushroom for one fortnight.
I think.
One
Okay,
copy
this
of
might be a stretch, and actually I think Seth is better.
I think
But-
mine's a bit of a stretch too, to be honest.
I think you somehow managed to strike a book deal and wrote a book about the entire experience of being with Charlie and managed to get it published under a pseudonym so that people don't know who you are.
And the title of the book was "He Was a Fun Guy."
Can I give my penny to him for that?
The problem is, you still got one penny, so this still can go
No,
horribly wrong.
I
This still can go
know.
horribly wrong.
I know.
Well, I mean, this is already
He was
pretty
a fun-
unpleasant.
Yeah,
as it is.
so
Like, his mom died.
I managed to get a book deal, and it went well for a while until there were some investigations into where the money was going, because nobody knew whose account this actually was, and
Doing it under the radar,
yeah,
not filing your taxes
yeah,
correctly.
doing it under the radar, and I didn't have a social to use for the taxes, so it sold like wildfire.
Guys, real quick, just so you know, this is the orange juice I bought. Don't use the other one. That's Cody's.
Okay. What's the difference?
One of them has.
One of them
Germs
Cody
on it.
bought, and one of them I bought.
Right, but
Cody and I don't share food, so.
all right, but my point is there like a distinct like this a different kind of?
This one has a handle.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're different orange juices.
Yes.
This is the kind of quality content you get live, people.
This is the quality content I subscribed for.
Yes. Oh man. Where were we?
book deal.
Book
Right,
deal,
right,
the
book
money
deal.
wasn't going where it should.
the
Money laundering.
I mean, yeah, there was a little bit of money laundering.
Tax fraud.
Tax fraud.
You get a Yoshi.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew I was in a heap of trouble when I got a knock at the door. But I don't remember what I did when I heard the door knock. Or let me rephrase that a little bit. I knew something was up the moment I heard the knock at the door, but I don't remember what I did. Caleb, what did I do when I heard a knock at the door?
Come and knock at my door. You're gonna get
like, it's
arrested.
Jesus. I'll let him in, and he will dine with me. And no.
It was Jesus, and I was like, oh. Did I do
At the Damascus moment.
When you're already aware that there's some, you might get found out, and so
and there were they were probably still looking for me.
right. And so the knock at the door, you knew exactly what it was. Right, they had finally found you, and everything was up. Luckily, you had rigged the house to blow, and so you flipped the trigger, the timer started, and you walked out the back door.
Seth, is that really what I did?
That
seems a
bit extreme.
And mushroom cloud expert now. I thought what happened was you did the same thing as before. You tried to run. Unfortunately, this time you were surrounded. So there was you tried to go out the back door, but there was no back door to escape from.
Because they had destroyed your back door.
The back door had been replaced with a mushroom.
With a giant mushroom.
And then I fell over and realized I'd been on drugs. No.
I woke up. It was all a dream.
I woke up and everything was mushrooms. The TV, a mushroom. The light bulbs, mushrooms.
The mushrooms chairs for some reason.
I was not disappointed by that. Oh.
Who gets the penny? Who gets the last penny?
Okay, so blow up, more cops. Blow up, more cops. Blow up, more cops.
Don't blow up more cops, though.
Turn this into a dancing stream.
I'm just trying to think
Why don't
of
you flip a penny?
a coin. No, I'm just trying to think of like, okay, so there's one other story after this that is just how I ended up.
The psychological or physiological trauma that led you to lose your memory.
Okay. And that'll be related to the next thing here.
Yeah, what was your prompt again? I feel like we've gotten pretty far away from that.
Starting a band.
Yeah, it's going on for a while. We still haven't gotten. Wait, we're so close to it being done.
Starting a mushroom
We're
band.
close to mine being done. We still haven't started, Jesse.
Yeah.
It'll be starting soon.
Yeah. No, I definitely rigged it to blow.
Nice. Awesome.
Any good mushroom expert would do that.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you had
I
some
used-
extra
I
money
mean,
on your hands at this point.
Honestly, there are some mushrooms that are a little more corrosive than others.
Mushroom bomb.
Mushroom bombs from mushroom
A
clouds.
few mushrooms. Some C4. Mushroom bomb.
I picked up
mushroom shrapnel everywhere.
Mushrooms not necessary.
That's what I see. That's I took a page out of Charlie's book, except instead of stuffing the mushrooms,
filled the mushrooms with
C4.
C4.
Instead of stuffing them with cocaine, I stuffed them with
Oh
C4.
my gosh.
This is
Um,
so ridiculous.
This is really weird.
And so, I thankfully thought ahead, and there was a hatch in the bottom of my.
Down to the Underground Railroad for mushroom hunters. Perfect.
The Mushroom Express.
Yes, the Mushroom Express.
No, there was. I had an underground sort of escape hatch that I used to make my hasty escape.
Dude, where's the money in mushrooms?
And
Book deals. That's what it is.
yeah, it was the book deal. It was the book deal. And I managed. I mean that house was gone. I managed to.
I love how
get-
your house is just filled with mushrooms. Ready except for this exact scenario.
Don't eat the explosive mushrooms, kiddos.
These are not for eating.
But as I once again tried to run away and as I contemplated how I would once again try to reinvent my life and continue to remain on the lam from the cops, I realized that I was once again homeless. My mom was still dead. Charlie was probably. I had no idea what happened to Charlie. I have no idea what happened to the other guys that were in the mushroom gang, our little mushroom band. Mushroom band. Mushroom? Oh,
Wow.
that's a good like punk mushroom.
Mushroom.
Like it's
Punk
like a
theme,
mushroom.
a punk mushroom themed band.
Yeah.
You want to start a punk rock mushroom themed band called Mushroom? Alright.
I do.
Mushroom. They're known for doing shows in empty Denny's.
So yeah,
So you're homeless.
I'm homeless now.
Here.
Yeah, that's
This
basically
is
it.
the end of the story.
Yeah. I was
Still on the run.
I was on the lam and I'm homeless. Don't know what happened to Mushroom Band. So what wasn't pleasant about it?
Lots of things.
Okay. Oh, I remember. And what was?
You remembered
I-
starting a band.
I remembered when I think of starting a
When you think
band.
of starting a band.
I remember.
Blowing up.
Your mother dying. Charlie
Bit me.
drug running. Charlie drug running, and my house being exploded. What was unpleasant
That's
about
quite a lot of stuff you managed to remember there. I feel
Yeah.
like you're. I mean, it's not even like a fuzzy story anymore. You're pretty solid.
Pretty
at
in-depth,
remembering
pretty
stuff.
clear on what
I
happened.
think the ending is just around the corner.
Yeah.
What was unpleasant about it?
Lots of
Lots
stuff.
of things. Pretty much everything.
Let's
Except for
see.
the money.
Dead mom. No house.
No mushrooms.
What happened? This stuff. What was unpleasant about it? The stuff I just said.
No mushrooms. No friends.
No mushrooms is a sad day.
Charlie probably still alive.
Charlie's in some cushy
Charlie, that
self.
stain on dwarven kind. Charlie probably still out there.
America's most wanted mushroom hunters.
Wait, there's some good mushroom puns I'm sure we're missing.
I mean, there's all sorts of types of mushrooms.
I
that you
mean,
haven't
there's the
touched.
one that Ryan Higa made,
Hmm.
where he talks about the shiitake mushroom. Whenever anything goes bad, he just shiitakes all over the place.
Jesse, I think it's you now.
Yes. So do I need to give a penny to someone to start?
No,
No.
that was
Jordan
just-
takes a penny since he's done. And then
Penny for my remembering.
What was the thing where you gave a penny and said like I will help you remember? Was that?
I think it was just the start.
That
off.
was just a
yeah,
start.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
just the very beginning, yeah.
That was just
so
the
yours-
beginning.
That was just the beginning. Now, do
I
I pull
believe
for my
that
glass
Aang
of
can
orange
save
juice?
the world. No, not for a glass of orange juice. The non-liquid.
So
candy cup.
pull one and
Pull
then
memory trigger, and then we'll ask you
and
these
then-
questions.
yeah, you'll
Jordan
ask
is the
the
first question asker.
And the last.
I just hope I don't pull my own. Well, maybe I do hope I pull my own. I don't know.
I mean, just because you pull your own doesn't mean it's gonna
I really
pull,
hope
come out.
You pull one of mine.
Just because you
I
pull.
mean, you guys, both of you guys pulled mine.
Yeah.
Just-
Just could go in any direction.
Yeah, it can go so many directions.
Digital black belt license. Is
So
that
yours-
yours?
Digital black belt license.
My
So,
What
like-
does that even mean?
So like an internet black belt license. So
Yeah.
You didn't actually go to the class. You just like took an online test, and they gave you a digital black belt.
I thought it meant like digital black belt, like cybersecurity, like you can beat up.
It, I mean, it
you
could.
can beat up.
Depends
I mean, it's
hackers.
up to Jordan, really.
Depends on what Jordan wants to ask.
I meant the original thing, but I also considered the other thing. So
Yeah, you asked me. Okay, I gotta focus. Gotta.
You good with cheese?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Gotta
wait.
tune into my
He's
inner.
good at with cheese.
So there was one story time with Uncle Jesse here. There
Jordan
was.
asked Jordan asked that. Yeah. So we asked the leading questions
No,
first.
I was just saying there was
Oh.
one time when I was in 9th grade that we had to do an improvised speech, and I had already like played like improv games with my friends, and we thought
Right.
they were super fun. But then when it came time for me to do the improvised speech, I totally biffed it and did terribly, and it was like, how did I do so bad when I do
Yeah.
this so much?
I think there's a difference between giving a speech and like improv acting, and also doing it in front of different audiences.
Jordan, we all saw that.
It's really unnecessary. You can do log raws.
was I in the stream though?
No,
See?
your knee was for a very brief moment.
And maybe your
What
booty.
knee? I don't have knees.
Uncle Jesse.
First leading question.
So you actually thought that it was. You actually thought that the black belt license was legit, and that just by taking these quizzes, that you'd have a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yes, and it was rather embarrassing when I was proven otherwise.
This has to be a pleasant memory too. Good luck, Seth. I screwed us over.
All I have to do is meet my wife.
I was actually thinking of going that direction. You didn't expect that video of you getting beat up, thinking you could do black belt stuff. You didn't expect that video to go viral, did you?
Well, I'm saying yes.
No, did you know you didn't expect it to go viral? Yes, I did not expect it to go viral.
Okay.
Were you surprised?
Were you surprised
That's
with
that's
the video?
That's what Caleb told me earlier.
That's
so.
okay.
So was I surprised when the video went viral? Yes. I didn't think anyone but my grandma Aunt Pa would watch it since she she was hooting and hollering at it so much. She thought it was so funny. She showed it to my grandma. She showed it to my kids. I have kids. Cool. She showed it to my mom. She showed it to everyone, and then they were showing it to their friends. They all thought I was the funniest thing ever, and yeah, everything changed when the Fire Nation.
So brief summary of what the two were.
He thought it would actually make him.
I thought my digital black belt license actually made me a black belt.
And then,
Okay.
then he got caught in a video of him doing it, and it went viral.
And so
And he
everyone
did it well or bad?
It w- no,
poorly?
the
me,
video-
me pretending to be a black belt video went viral. Videotaped by my grandma Aunt Pa, and
and they all thought it was hilarious.
they all
shared
thought it
with
was
everyone.
hilarious and shared it with friends, and now I'm this worldwide sensation, I guess.
In a good way
I don't know.
or a bad way? Because there
I
are
mean,
two
it's-
types of viral videos.
Well,
Well, I mean, we're asking
There's
the
the-
questions.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to
And
make sure
it's
that
ple-
wasn't
it's a-
specified
No, it
yet.
hasn't been specified.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a pleasant memory.
Did you enjoy appearing on the Ellen DeGeneres?
I was thinking that exact thing. I was thinking like, was it cool to meet Ellen?
I was totally thinking like,
I'm pretty sure we just peaked. Yeah, we peaked.
I was thinking like,
Rip headphone users.
rip off your headphones.
So
Is that how you started your career?
you shouldn't have said it out loud. I was gonna go with something like that, but now it just seems like I'm copying.
Sorry, I shouldn't have even said it out loud, so
No,
you could
it's
have
all
done it.
good. I'm just trying to think of a different way to spin it. Did you get a little too caught up in your newfound fame?
Yes, I think things went a little too far when I changed my Instagram bio to say world famous pretend karate man.
World famous pretend karate man. Perfect.
So is that how your career in comedy got started?
Oh, he has kids also. We've established that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, so they can die.
He's catching on to how this game works.
Yeah. And then the next time he plays, he's going to be a karate man with kids again. Because that's apparently how it works for us.
Hey, I have a good relationship with my son.
For now.
For now.
Hey, I'm just waiting to hear how you guys screw up my marriage.
Yep.
It might not even be your
your
marriage that
underwear
screws up, though.
marriage.
My undermarriage.
No. No, that doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't supposed to. Go ahead, Jordan.
So is that how my career in comedy started?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You said that.
Yes, that is how my career in comedy started. And, it started as just being an Instagram thing. And then...
You met Ellen.
And then people were
Thank
asking me to do appearances as the world famous pretend karate man. And things just got out of hand from there.
What's great is like this could definitely actually happen. Like this would be an actual thing that would happen.
This probably has happened.
Yeah.
This has happened in a few cases.
Yes.
Well, remember the lightsaber kid with the broom?
Well, IRL story, when I was in San Francisco, one of my friends, I don't know if you've seen this really old picture where a homeless man is holding up a sign that says, "My family got kidnapped, I need $4 karate lessons." One of my teammates when I was in San Francisco apparently met him, like the guy who was from that
Yeah.
photo.
Wow. Well, tell us your story.
So that is the beginning of the memory, and now I need to keep it going.
Yeah, so what happened after
After all
you
this
became
stuff,
a comedian?
that you
And
just
then all of
set the
that,
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is hard. This is even harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's fun though.
It is.
So, yeah, let me set the stage again. After my grandma, Aunt Pa, videotaped me, me with my digital black belt license, thinking I was the bee's knees, kicking pumpkins and chopping lettuce heads in half with a kitchen knife.
Because you can't do that without the digital black belt.
Yeah, because you can't do that without a digital black belt license. Of course.
Teaches you your it teaches you your hayas, your kiyas. Your
At first I was very upset about the video going viral, but I realized very quickly that this could be my chance to make it big, and this could maybe be my 15 minutes, or maybe this could be the start of something even bigger.
It's the start
Of something new. So, I did some interviews. I talked with some people about what it was like to be a digital black belt. I made light of my situation, and I really thought, I really thought, okay, I've got to just dig into this. So I made the Instagram account @officialfakeninjaman.
official thing.
Let's see if that's taken. Is that taken? Someone in chat, find out if it's taken.
Oh, look, I'm curious.
@officialfakeninjaman. __x_x. Just kidding. Official fake ninja man.
Ninja Man. Doesn't exist.
Oh man, creating my next Instagram account right after this game.
You have to create your first one.
Yeah. So
You hear that too?
from there,
You hear
What?
the ringing?
The what?
Do you hear the ringing?
yeah, it's coming from the. Is it coming from the fridge? It's like. You might have droned it out because it is kind of droning.
Is it that? My PC?
I think it's just the refrigerator.
I think
It
it's
could
the
be the
fridge.
refrigerator.
I don't hear anything that's not natural, so.
I mean, I didn't notice it until we'd been sitting down for like half an hour. So.
Anyway, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, so I used that Instagram account. I feel like I actually need to take that Instagram handle
Yeah,
now.
you do.
I use that Instagram account as a platform to do other sorts of fake ninja comedy things. A lot of oh shoot, what's the term? A lot of slapstick. A lot of slapstick stuff. A lot of fake ninja a lot of fake ninja man tutorials where I taught you how to also be a good and effective fake ninja man. And at a certain point, I got a call from the. Why does the first thing I thought of was the Louvre?
That is one possible option.
At a certain point, I got a call from the Heavenly Resort. I'm just trying to think of an actual name. I got a call from the Heavenly Resort in Nevada, and they asked me if I could come do a live show of Fake Ninja Man live. They would advertise it as Fake Ninja Man live in concert. So I said yes.
Did you?
Did you? Yeah.
I was waiting for this.
That's someone specific.
Yeah.
Yes. Jordan, what do you think I did when I heard them ask me to come perform live?
I think you froze up. I think you think, okay, maybe this is a little too much at once. I don't want to overstep. Like the one live appearance was one thing, but actually performing a show in front of all these people, you declined. You declined this call.
Seth, what do you
I
think?
had an idea, but it's not happy. But I can't think of anything else. Yeah, how many pennies? 3 pennies? You have time to make this happy.
Oh no.
I think you went gung ho for it. And it bombed.
Okay.
Either way, it goes bad for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Choose your destiny.
Seth has more possibilities, so
Yeah.
yes, Penny.
So I said, absolutely. I would love to perform at the Heavenly Resort. By the way, if you've never been there, it's a cool place. And I went and they gave me the Hollywood treatment. Really, they got me the nice first class airplane, the nice spot in the hotel. Got a cheese platter for dinner the night I got there
With Gouda.
with Gouda and with jam.
Jam.
But
I'm so jelly.
and I was so excited to bring people official Fake Ninja Man live, but time for the show came, and it was quite an exercise in Murphy's Law. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The intro monologue, none of the jokes landed. There was just a dead quiet room. When I actually got into the fake ninja part of it, a lot of my props malfunctioned.
Oh no.
And didn't explode when they were supposed to. My explosive mushrooms didn't explode on time. And by the end of the show, there was hundreds of people had just left already. They were throwing tomatoes. They were.
Who gets tomatoes and just brings them into a show?
They had a sale outside.
there was a farmer's market that day, and people bought tomatoes.
Dang. That's just rotten luck.
Um,
That one, honestly, that one wasn't intentional at first. It just kind of happened.
And when it was over, when I was sitting backstage again, wondering, what the heck did I just do? Where do I go now?
Can I ask someone?
True. After the show, I'm sitting backstage, but I can't remember what I did at that point. Caleb, what do you think I did at that point?
I think a man walked up to you at that point. A guy in a suit, big buff, and he offered you a job, a different sort of job. He saw real potential in you, and that was how you began your life of organized crime. As a bodyguard.
What? Okay, that's quite a twist. I want to see if Jordan has a different idea.
I think a man.
I want to keep the organized crime, at least save it for the second part.
I think a man did come up to you, but it was another comedian who saw that there was potential, and he knew he could tell that there was funny in what you were going for, but that you
It's unrefined.
it was unrefined. You didn't know kind of the structure of how to phrase the jokes, and then when using a prop, didn't check it or anything, so that he came to you with the offer of taking you under his wing, so you can learn to be the true fake ninja of all fake ninjas that you were meant to be.
Jordan's much better.
I also do. We'll save organized crime for later.
Yeah, I agree.
So yes, a gentleman walked up to me and said,
Wait a second, that was your first penny?
Huh?
Did you give one to was there another did you give one to Seth?
Yeah, give one to me.
So you had
Wait.
4?
He had 3.
"Oh shoot, I was holding on to these and just fiddling with
Oh,
them."
did you just
Yeah,
push them
maybe
down?
not play with the pennies then. So you have one. You have one.
Yeah, he has one left. Oh, no.
That's what I was like really confused.
Yeah, I was fiddling with pennies and I just handed it to you out of that pile.
No, I think he just didn't give. Seth
No, I
that.
got one.
I'll
From Zed.
hold on. I'll
I-
get something else to fiddle with.
I had 2 earlier, and now I have 3.
These are poker chips. You won't mistake these for pennies. They're also really terrible poker chips.
You want my cube? Or is that? That's probably too distracting, actually. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely too distracting.
Is it a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
So a gentleman walked up to me and said, "So, you got a bomb, huh?" I said,
Second bomb of the night.
It's actually
And
happening
he
at the
hands
same
you a
time.
mushroom.
"Yeah, you're a mushroom."
Well, here's another one for
The
you.
It's like
lore-
his business card. It's like a mushroom with the business card in it.
The lore keeps
For
the
mushroom,
lore
and
of
it
this
blows up.
universe keeps expanding.
Yep.
So he said, "Hey, you had a bomb, huh?" And I said, "Yep." He said, I remember my first big bomb, and it's something that you have to go through." He said, "Hey," and he grabbed me by the shoulder, and I looked up at him. He said, "Hey, you can make that better. I saw you, and I believe that you could make that into something great." I said, "Well, hey, what's your name?" And he said, "Charlie."
Oh my god!
Perfect. Charlie became a comedian. Perfect.
So, I went back to my hotel. I packed up all my things, and
Did you?
I mean, I feel like he accepted at that point.
Okay,
So I think
yeah.
that's just an extrapolation.
Okay.
Of it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, he took the offer and then went back to his
Yeah.
room. Was where I was thinking. Like,
Yeah,
did he really go?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
unless like he dies in his room right now, or someone like comes to his room, I assume this is just part of like.
But the very strange thing was that Charlie seemed like he was in a rush to get out of there.
Right, of course. Yeah.
You have to connect them.
Of course.
Didn't
this
we
just,
connect ours?
just makes
Huh?
him
Didn't we
even more
connect the one that we
amazing.
did?
Last time?
If we didn't.
I feel like someone's was connected.
No, it was mine and yours because like mine was like the lawyer girl who like the wife went to the
Yeah.
rock star and you were like a rock star in it.
Oh yeah, that's
His
right.
wife was your groupie. Yeah.
was
That's
it.
right. And then she got hooked up on drugs because.
Well, that didn't happen till like the last memory.
Right, but
Anyway.
So Charlie seemed like he was in a hurry to get out of there. So I went to my hotel room. I got my stuff, and I sounds super creepy. I followed him to his car, and we drove over to the nearest nightclub where he was staying at, and we unpacked it at his place, and we spent the night writing. We spent the night going over how to
Feverish comedian.
feverish comedian writing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen those Jerry Seinfeld things where he had piles and piles of papers with unused jokes. That's what we were doing. Where do I go from here?
Can I ask someone?
Yeah, so the next morning, I'll try this. The next morning, I woke up in his hotel room. I know that sounds creepy.
That does sound creepy.
The bathtub full of ice.
Yes.
Oh no. I didn't wake up at all, actually.
Next morning I woke up at his place, but I can't remember what I did when I got up. Seth, do you remember what I did when I got up?
No, not really. I think you kept following Charlie for the next few months, years, however long you think it would have been. Kind of became your mentor, and you toured together for a while. Form a little touring troupe.
Called the Mushroom Band.
The mushroom. Charlie, mushroom expert, comedian, drug dealer, murderer.
Accidental murder.
He has many things.
Yes. Caleb, do you think? What do you think I did that morning?
I think you woke up and you I think you went with Charlie, like Seth said. I think you joined him. You made it a firm decision in that moment to go join him. But he didn't get you involved in comedy so much as he got you involved in the wilder side of things. But you didn't mind. And honestly, you maybe preferred it that way. Because this is a pleasant memory.
Mine was pleasant too. So do you want ending with comedy or ending with drugs?
For the record, I think you woke up. I mean, not that you can use my suggestion, but I totally think you woke up and called your family, your kids, who we've kind of forgotten.
Oh yeah.
It's fine.
Oh yeah.
They're fine.
That's.
He's sending them back checks every month.
Where did Dad go? Dad went to the store.
And he never came back.
Hey, we
Your
use that for
dad,
his
went,
negative
your
memory.
dad went on a reverse bottle adventure.
A what?
Never mind. It's a joke from Zelda, from Ocarina of Time.
Speed running?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a glitch called Reverse Bottle Adventure, which people say is probably the worst name for a glitch in history because it makes no sense. But yeah, there's a that's just a joke.
Yeah.
Like your dad went on a reverse bottle adventure and never came back.
You can't use Jordan's.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Seth's. We went and we toured, and that's where mine ends, right?
Does indeed.
So when you think of digital,
When I think of digital black belt license,
You think of this long string of historical events.
I think I'm next.
Do we want to keep going or do we want to pause?
You guys want to take a quick break?
Sure.
I can just mute the mic.
Yeah, let's take a quick break.